Welcome back to Homeschooling Mama. Well, it's semester number 2. We're in the fall of 2019. And my girls are still doing dual credit at the local college. For those of you that don't know, it means that I am still a homeschooling mom of my 2 oldest girls as well as my younger 3. But even though that they're high school homeschool students, they are also freshman college students at the same time. So the college classes that they are taking has a dual purpose. They're getting dual credit for it. That one class is giving them both official college credit that is good on a transcript as well as credit for their high school. This is their semester doing it. They started in the spring of 2019 and here we are in the fall of 2019 and they are taking classes again. So I am just going to update you on some of the things so that if you choose to send your children to do dual credit students at your local colleges, I just want you to be aware of some of the things that may come up, let you know how we're navigating through it so that it may help you in your decisions on how you're going to navigate through it. You can get a little insight into our life to better help you to make decisions about your life. So our girls are doing their classes online. You can look at my other videos as to why we chose to do the classes online versus taking them up to the campus. However, although they're doing classes online, we still take them up to the campus. At first, we were taking them up to the campus. They get to meet their teachers every semester. Sometimes we'll let them go up there to utilize the different facilities and the different resources that they have at the school. This year we did something different that we didn't do last year. We actually allowed them to participate in a few different things. So during the summer, right before school for the freshmen, they had like a freshman block party. The kids got to go to that. We let the girls go and participate in that. We decided this year we'll let them participate in something and join an activity, so we sent them up there on a day when they had the day where all the clubs are going to be out so they can see the different things, come home, bring home some information, and we can decide what club we would allow them to participate in or be a part of. When they went up there, one of my daughters came back. There was a lot of good things she wanted to participate in. But that same day, she was invited out to try out for the basketball team. So that the next day, the day after that, her and her sister, both girls that are at the school, went and tried out for the basketball team, and they both made the basketball team for our college. So that ended any other clubs because they committed to basketball, which meant that was the only commitment they were going to be able to make. They're now a part of the club called basketball team, right? The women's basketball team. So we decided not to participate in any other clubs at this time. We wanted to allow them to be a part. Basketball is a big commitment, and the number one priority is their education. And so basketball is a privilege that not only had to be earned, but the privilege has to be maintained, right? And so school is the number one priority. But we did let them do some other things. We were taking them up there once a week just so they can hang out at the school, use the facilities and the resources. But when basketball started, that meant that we were going up to the school 5 days a week for practices. And now that the season has started, they have practices and they have games and they have tournaments and different things like that. So we have been pretty busy with that. But before the season actually started, they had one of my daughters participated in a ping pong tournament and got 3rd place. They had a school-wide, citywide Constitution Day event where people can put together teams, come and compete on questions about the Constitution and the history of the United States. So because it was a citywide thing, my 2 girls formed a team and they invited my 3rd daughter to be on their team as well. They had a lot of teams that participated and my 3 girls got 1st place. They actually won the competition, so we were really excited about that, really happy about that. So they're getting to experience some things which they didn't get to do last semester, which they are really excited about. So they're now getting to feel really like college students, being a part, making friends, spending a lot of time at the school. But they are still taking their classes online. I prefer that because I have a better hand on their class, what's being taught, and making sure that their work is getting done. So what are the things that we are experiencing that maybe that you need to be aware of? There's a lot of distractions at the school. You would be surprised. Every day there's a lot of different things going on. I was really surprised because this summer I had took my younger children to the local university for a tour of the school, and they sat down and talked with the kids about college and things like that. So while we were walking for about an hour around the school, the city is doing this to try to get younger kids to go to college, and so we're taking advantage of it to not only get our kids motivated about college at younger ages, but also to get some information on the different schools as we choose what university our kids will be going to after they're done with the local community college. And I was really surprised because these are younger kids, so you would think they would try to get their interest in school academically or professionally or for life or whatever, but they were really just focused on all the video rooms they had. They had a ton of video rooms, a sleep room, a nap room, all the games, the rock climbing. It was just about pure entertainment. And the amount of restaurants, there's like 3 Subways there, I think there was an Olive Garden there. There was like all these different restaurants there all over the campus. And it wasn't really a lot about academics. And when they sat down and talked to the kids, they asked them what they wanted to be and talked to them and pumped up the school a lot. But then they said, oh, but by the way, a lot of kids don't do good and they end up failing and having to drop out because there's so many distractions. So stay focused. And then they moved on. And I thought to myself, one little blurb about staying focused, you showed them all the distractions, got them excited about all the distractions, right? And then you give them one little thing, say, oh, but don't let that move you. And then kept on going back to the distractions. So I was a little concerned about that. So I talked to my husband about that. I said, I went to a private college. And I really liked the private college because even though there was things to do, the classrooms were smaller. You got a lot of one-on-one attention. And it wasn't as distracting as the public university from what I could tell from what we went to. And they did show them one classroom. They said that the average classroom was about 300 students per class, right? And that there are some that are smaller, but overall all the classes are very large. They go up to like 500-600 kids in one class. And so I was kind of looking at all of that and kind of judging all of that, and I'm thinking, I don't want that for my kids. I want something more quaint, where they can get more one-on-one attention. I like their teachers knowing who they are. So that was this summer. So the community college kind of shocked me. When I was in community college, I don't remember that many distractions. There's a lot of distractions. Every day there's multiple things going on. The phone is always ringing. Hey, do you guys want to participate in this? They are actively pushing, trying to fill all of their extracurricular activities on any given day. So like yesterday, we got 3 phone calls. They called my cell phone, they called my home phone, they called my daughter's phone, asking, are you guys going to show up for the dodgeball tournament? And my daughters were like, no, we're not participating in the dodgeball tournament. My husband had to tell them, no, they're not participating in the dodgeball tournament. So they really actually push a lot of their events. When I look at the girls' mail, because I look at the mail from the school quite often, at least weekly, it is just a bombardment of this group, this meeting, this activity, this event, come to, see this, do this, participate. It's just a bombardment of all of that. And then somewhere in there you'll find where the teacher says, your work has been graded or something like that. So it's a lot that's coming out of them. And my girls, I have one daughter, well, both of them in particular, are very much aware of all the things that are going on. And I'm constantly have to remind them what we're sending them for. Why are you there? You're there to get an education. All of that is great, but that's not the focus, right? And if you get distracted with all of that, you're not going to be getting the grades that you're getting. Right now, they both have its midterms. They both have a 98 in all their classes. One has a 97, but other than that, they all have 98s. So just trying keep them focused. So just be aware there's going to be a lot of distractions. And if you're thinking your kids, all our kids are responsible. I know that. My kids are pretty much responsible, mature kids, but they are still children. They're still kids, and there's a lot out there that is trying to distract them. Now, here's the problem that I have with the colleges, right? Is that they consider, no matter how old your kid is, if you put your kid, because you can do dual credit at 14, if you're putting your 14-year-old in school, they consider your 14-year-old an adult. So they want access to your child, and this is law, you guys, which is terrible. They want access to your child to be able to treat them as an adult, although they're not qualified to make adult decisions. However, they make you sign a paper saying that you are responsible for paying their school bills and any bills that they collect, because they said that they can't bill children, which I think is kind of crazy, right? If you're going to treat them like an adult, then why are you coming for me for pay? Shouldn't they be able to pay? Because adult people can pay for stuff, right? So just be wary of that, or aware of that. So they'll try to tell you can't get information about your children. You can't know what classes that they're taking. You can't do anything concerning your children. And they don't have to consult you for anything dealing with your children. They'll just deal with your children directly. Even though that is how they function and how they do, they know that I'm their parent, I'm involved, and I have complete access, and my children give me complete access. But even if they didn't, I told them, like, if you're gonna pay, if I'm paying, I get to know what's going on, right? But I always make sure that I have established some type of rapport or relationship with their teachers. I'm watching over everything, and I'm doing the thing and behaving in a way, right, that gives me entry without any drama, right? But so that's something that you need to be aware of. So your children are going to be bombarded with a lot of stuff, and they're doing everything they can to push you out so that you don't even know if their work is getting done. Are they making it to their classes? What are they joining? What are they not joining? What's going on? And it's terrible, because it's really an attack against our family, because the libraries are like that as well. They want your kids to have cards, but you can't see what they're reading. You can't see what they're checking out. But when the bill comes, they send the bill to you. It makes no sense. We need to change that, you guys. So those are just things that you need to be aware of. There's a lot of distractions out there. They want access to your children, and if you're not on top of it, you can have a lot of kids that are failing and you'll never know. And then you're paying for the semester, and your kids aren't getting the grades, and it could be really jacking up their future. So there's a lot of distractions out there. The school is really preying on them. The particular school that my kids go to, whenever they have events to offer scholarships, they're not offering nothing, $100, right? And it's not really anything, and they don't really pay it. They never let you know who gets it, and that's it. So there was one particular event, I only would let my kids do it once, because after that, I was like, that's enough of that. Where, the first people that showed up, first people to sign up, the first so many get this $100. My kids was in the first. They never got the $100. They just want you to fill out. They do a lot of questionnaires. They're trying to get information from you. So they have all these requirements that you have to do, and then they're not paying up the $100. And what really is $100 anyway? I told my kids, Daddy got your $100. Your time is worth more than that. Let them do what they're doing, and let's go on to what we're doing. So those are some of the things that you just kind of need to be aware of. The other thing that you need to, that we're dealing with, that I just want to share with you so that you can have some awareness on it, is that the particular school my kids are going to got in trouble for some financial fraud a few years ago and are on probation. So there's a lot of questionable things that are kind of going on. I don't really want to go into it all, but just kind of be aware. Sometimes there'll be things coming out saying you got to pay for this, you owe money for that, or you need this, or you need that. And you just got to be on top of your stuff, bold enough to be able to speak about it, and to know how to handle yourself maturely. So we kind of set tight on some things, and things kind of fell off. We didn't say anything. We just set tight because we knew the error was on their part, and we're not going to jump every time you send some money out for something, because they're having issues, right? And they need to get that in order. So just kind of be mindful, watch what's going on. If you're turning stuff in, make sure you have proof of that, evidence of that, if somebody has to sign something for it, because they'll come back and try to act like they don't even know what you're talking about. So you just kind of got to be aware of some of that too. And maybe it won't happen at your school, but it's something that we are going through. Another thing that I just want to share with you guys is that this year I'm not as involved in the sense that I'm not every day sitting at the computer going over everything, going over the books with my kids every day. My husband asked me this summer to back up a little bit and let them try some on their own because it was a lot for me. I have backed up. I am able to, we have a better flow this year than we did last semester. I'm able to work with my younger ones better. Everything is going really good on that. So what I kind of do is I check in once or twice a week on the computer to see what's going on. When things are being turned thin, they're still turning it into library until it's complete. I either check it before they turn it into library or after, or I do it both. So I'm seeing everything that's getting turned thin. So they're on their big papers, they've gotten mainly hundreds and a couple 97s on them, but they're doing fairly good with that. So everything has transitioned a lot better this semester than last semester. But it is still a lot of work, and it is still requiring a lot for me. It may not require a lot for you, but it requires a lot for me because there's a lot of other, medical things and things like that that are going on. So the girls go to the basketball games. They go to their basketball practices. That's a lot. We weren't used to having to be interrupted like that. But even though my girls are 15 and, well, now they're 16 and 17, they've had birthdays. There's 40-year-olds that are up there that kind of hang around, right? And so you need to make your presence known sometimes. You have different things that are going on. There's kids that are out there that are smoking weed. There's guys that are out there that are not really people you really would want your kids to be around. And so you just have to kind of be mindful. So what I do is I listen when my girls talk, you guys, and I pay attention to the things that they say. I want them to be able to come and talk to me, and I want to be an open place for them to be able to tell me good and bad. And then I share my wisdom with them. And I try to do it in a way that is not kind of bashing them or beating them up so that they don't feel like they can't talk to me. But I also let them know who to be aware of, who not to be aware of. But we have a presence at the school, so people know we drop them off. We go into the gym. We might pop up in the library or something like that, so that people know that we have a presence and that our children are covered. I'm not throwing them out there and leaving them uncovered, and it is known that they're covered. So those might be some things that you might want to look out for, because there are some mean people up there, you guys. There's some perverted people up there. There are some guys who are just trying to see how many girls that they can score with, and you just got to be mindful of that. There are homosexuals up there, and that's not something that we believe in, and that's not something we partake in. So we have to prepare our children for all of that, guard them, but teach them how to navigate through all of those different types of scenarios. So those are things that I want to share with you, things that we've been dealing with, so that when it's your turn, you can be aware of certain things and it won't take you by surprise, and perhaps you can already know how you're going to deal with things as they come up beforehand. So hope something in there was helpful for you. Until next time, bye.